SA 250. Yeah, hi everyone, this is C. Ravi Agrawal, and let's enjoy SA 250. And whenever you hear this word SA 250, what comes in your mind? Law and regulation. Like when we hear 240, what comes in our mind? Fraud. When we hear 250, what comes in our mind? Law and regulation. So it says, SA 250 says, consideration of law and regulation in an audit of financial statement. Consideration of law and regulation in an audit of financial statement. So whenever you audit financial statement, what you have to consider? Law and regulation. What you have to consider? Law and regulation. So 250, consideration of law and regulation in an audit of financial statement. So whenever you are doing audit of financial statement, what do you have to consider? Law and regulation. Okay, so we're talking about compliance. We're talking about compliance of law and regulation. Okay, so first of all, let's understand what is non-compliance. Let's understand what is non-compliance. Okay, so non-compliance is nothing but an act of omission by an entity, whether intentional or unintentional, which are contrary to prevailing law and regulation. Okay, so you omitted, you either intentionally or unintentionally omitted and you did not follow law and regulation. Simple language. Non-compliance. What is non-compliance? Is an act of omission or commission by entity, whether intentional or unintentional, which are contrary to prevailing law and regulation. An act of omission or commission by entity, whether intentional or unintentional, which are contrary to prevailing law and regulation. Okay, so this is non-compliance. All right, so now we have to understand, we are talking about law and regulation, so now we have to understand the effect of law and regulation. Okay, so there are some law and regulation which are having direct effect on financial statement. Okay, there are some law and regulation which are having direct effect on financial statement, like labor law, tax laws. All right, but there are also law and regulation which do not have direct effect on the financial statement, like environment law. Okay, and there are some law and regulation which affect heavily regulated industries like bank, chemicals, company, etc. Okay, so what are the effects of law and regulation? There are some law and regulation having direct effect on financial statement, like labor law, tax law. There are some law and regulation which do not have direct effect on the financial statement, and law and regulation having effect on heavily regulated industry. And then lastly, it says non-compliance of law and regulation. What happens if you don't comply law and regulation? It can lead to fines, penalties, fines, litigation, and other consequences. It can lead to fines, litigation, and other consequences. Okay, so what are we studying? Can you tell me what are we studying? Mind you have to refer Auditpedia 2.0, and in case you don't have, you can take it from me, C. Ravi Agrawal. All right then. So 250, consideration of law and regulation. First of all, we understood that when we are doing audit of financial statement, we need to consider law and regulation. Okay, what do you understand by non-compliance? Here you omit, okay, an act of omission or commission by entity, whether intentional or unintentional, which are contrary to prevailing law and regulation. Mother, you do not follow law and regulation. Or effect of law and regulation. There are some law and regulation which have direct effect on financial statement, like labor law, tax law. There are some law and regulation which do not have direct effect on the financial statement, and if you don't comply law and regulation, it may lead to fine, litigation, other consequences. Okay, let's understand objective of auditor. Okay, so as per 250, what are the objectives of auditor? Very simple, just 3 objective of auditor. What you have to do now, I am an auditor, so I have to follow 250, and it says obtain evidence, obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence with respect to compliance with law. Okay, just take evidence that compliance with law having direct effect on the financial statement is done or not. So just I am auditor, and as per 250, I just obtain evidence with respect to compliance with law and regulation having direct effect on financial statement. Okay, so I just have to take evidence with respect to compliance with law and regulation which are having direct effect on the financial statement. I just earlier discussed with you that law and regulation having direct effect or indirect effect. So here, in case that law and regulation having direct effect on the financial statement, with regard to that, you take sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay, and then second objective as per I say 250 is you just perform some audit procedure, perform some specified audit procedure, so that you can identify instances of non-compliances. What do you do? Simple. The second objective of SA 250, it says perform specified audit procedure so that you can identify instances of non-compliance. Okay, you perform specified audit procedure so that you can perform instances of non-compliances. Okay, with respect to law and regulation which do not have direct effect on the financial statement. Okay, they do not have direct effect on the financial statement but have material effect on the financial statement. Okay, understand, they do not have direct effect but still they have material effect on the financial statement. In that case, you just perform a specified audit procedure and just identify instances of if there is any non-compliances. Okay, if the compliances with law and regulation is having direct effect on the financial statement, okay, then what you do, you obtain audit evidence, sufficient appropriate audit evidence. And in case there is instances of non-compliances, you perform specified audit procedure and with respect to law and regulation which do not have direct effect on the financial statement but have material effect on the financial statement. And then lastly, respond appropriately to non-compliances or suspected non-compliances. Non-compliances which you can see that yeah, these are the non-compliances. No, suspected non-compliance which is you having, it's suspected. So respond appropriately to non-compliances or suspected non-compliances with law and regulation identified during audit. So whatever non-compliances or suspect, or is there any suspected non-compliances, you just respond it, okay, with law and regulation identified during audit. You have to respond appropriately. All right. So what did we understand? What are we studying? 250. What is 250? Consideration of law and regulation in an audit financial statement. So what did we understand? What is non-compliance? Very simple. Omission, commission by entity, whether intentional or unintentional, which are contrary to prevailing law and regulation. What are the effect? Effect we see law and regulation having direct effect on the financial statement, labor law, tax law. Law and regulation do not have direct effect on the financial environment law, and non-compliances of law and regulation lead to fine, litigation, other consequences. What are the objective of the auditor? 3 simple objective. In case of compliance with law and regulation having direct financial statement, obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. If you perform a specified audit procedure to help identify instances of non-compliances which are having direct effect on the financial statement but have material effect on the financial statement, in that case what you do is perform a specified audit procedure, okay, so that you can understand, identify the instances of non-compliances, and then if there is a non-compliance, if there is a suspected non-compliances with law and regulation identified during audit, you respond it appropriately. That's it. Simple objective, 3 objective. Now there is a question: what are the responsibility of auditor? What are the responsibility of the auditor? I have made mnemonic. Very simple. Saw us. SAW. Saw us. Saw us. Okay. So what are we studying? Responsibility of the auditor. Okay. As per 250, what are the responsibility of the auditor? Saw us. S stand for, next page, professional skepticism. S stand for professional skepticism. A stand for audit procedure, specified audit procedure. W, written representation. What are we studying? Responsibility of the auditor. What is the answer? Saw us. S is professional skepticism. A is audit procedure, specified audit procedure. W is written representation. Us. U is understanding legal and regulatory framework, and S is sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So what are we studying? Responsibility of the auditor. The answer is saw us. S is professional skepticism. A is specified audit procedure. W is written representation. Us. U is understanding legal and regulatory framework, and S is sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay, so let's understand it one by one. So, responsibility of the auditor. Okay, so S is professional skepticism. You know this. Professional skepticism says you need to be alert. You need to be always alert toward instances of non-compliances or suspected compliances with law and regulation. That's it. Professional skepticism means you need to be alert. Alert to what? Alert to possibility of instances of non-compliances or suspected compliances with law and regulation. S is professional skepticism. A, SAW. A is suspected audit procedure. Okay, suspected audit procedure. So what you have to do, auditor shall perform following audit procedure to identify instances of non-compliances. Okay, suspected. What are we studying? We are studying responsibility of the auditor. What are the responsibility of the auditor? You need to write a mnemonic. Saw us. S is you need to be always alert. You need to always exercise professional skepticism so that you can identify instances of non-compliances or suspected compliances. What else you need to do being an auditor regarding law and regulation, consideration of law? You need to perform a specified procedure. So why I need to perform a specified procedure? So that I can identify instances of compliances, instances of non-compliances with law and with other law and regulation which are having material effect on the financial statement. Okay, how will you do that? You will simply inquire with the management TCWG whether entity is in compliance with law and regulation, or you inspect with regulatory authority. Okay, inspecting correspondence with relevant licensing or regulatory authority. Specified audit procedure you perform now so that you can identify instances of non-compliance with other law and regulation that are having material effect on the financial. If it has the okay, so it has to have material effect on the financial. In that case, you perform specified audit procedure so that it can help you to identify instances of non-compliance with other law having material effect on the financial statement. How will you do that? Inquiring management TCWG whether the entity is in compliance with law and regulation, or you inspect correspondence with corresponding licensing or regulator. Matlab you inspect with regulatory authority, or you inquire with management TCW. In this way, you can, you need to perform a specified audit procedure to identify instances of non-compliance with other law and regulation having material effect on the financial statement. So what are we studying? Regular responsibility of the authority. Responsibility of the auditor. Responsibility of the auditor is SOS. S is specify. S is professional skepticism. A is specified audit procedure, and W is written representation. It's very simple. Written representation. What you have to do? Auditor shall obtain WR, written representation, from management TCW that all instances of non-compliances or suspected non-compliances have been disclosed. just take WR from management TCWG that all instances of non-compliances or suspected non-compliances have been disclosed to the auditor. Okay, so this is all responsibility of the auditor. So S is professional skepticism, A is specified audit procedure, W is written limitation, and then US understand the legal and regulatory framework. This is so important, and the 250 is talking about this only. So being an auditor, you shall understand the legal and regulatory framework, obviously applicable to entity, right? How entity is complying with that framework. So you just need to understand legal and regulatory framework. What you have to see here, that what legal and regulatory framework is applicable to entity, and how entity is complying with the framework. And then lastly S is sufficient appropriate audit evidence. What is that? Auditor shall obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with law and regulation. You just have to obtain that evidence regarding compliance with law and regulation. Okay, so we're done with responsibility of auditor, that is SOS. And then comes audit procedure when non-compliance is identified. Non-compliance is identified or suspected. What audit procedure you're going to apply? Very simple, there are just two audit procedure. What will be your audit procedure when non-compliance is identified or suspected? Damn simple. Number one, identified non-compliances. Okay, here what happens, auditor should obtain an understanding of, you just understand what was the nature and circumstances when it occurred. You're talking about identified non-compliances. No, the non-compliance had been identified. What audit procedure I'm going to apply here? Just see whether obtain the understanding of the nature and circumstances in which it occurred. And then what you do, also collect sufficient information to evaluate possible effect on the financial statement. Just see the nature and circumstances when it occurred, and also collect sufficient information to evaluate possible effect on the financial statement. See its possible effect on the financial information. Number one, you've identified non-compliances. Right now, what audit procedure I'm going to do? Just understand the nature of fact and circumstances in which it occurred, and then secondly, the possible effect on the financial statement, like fine, penalty, damage, possible effect on going concern. That's it. So you have identified non-compliances. Okay, now what will be the audit procedure? So just understand the nature of fact and circumstances when it occurred, and also see the evaluate its possible effect on the financial statement, like fine, penalty, damages, etc. Okay, now what about suspected non-compliance? What audit procedure you are going to do over here? Okay, auditor shall discuss with the management TCWG. Number one, there has been a suspected non-compliances. Non-compliances is identified or is suspected. So what audit procedure I'm going to do over here? I will first of all discuss with management TCWG. If management TCWG do not provide me any information, I will take legal opinion. I will take legal advice. Okay, expert opinion. Right? If auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate information, then what should I do? Then auditor shall consider the effect on audit report and modify accordingly. Okay, so very simple. We're talking about audit procedure when non-compliance is identified or suspected. Let's understand, if non-compliance is identified, what do I do? Very simple. I just see the nature and circumstances when it was occurred, and what is the possible effect on the financial statement, like fine, penalty, damage, possible effect on going concern. And what audit procedure should I apply on suspected non-compliances? Suspected non-compliance, you simply discuss with management TCWG. If they do not provide any information, take legal advice or expert opinion. If the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient information, you consider its effect on audit report and modify the audit report. Simple. Next, documentation. What will you document here? Very simple. You just say the identified suspected non-compliances, whatever I got, and result of discussion with management TCWG. You just document this. And then one more question is over here, and just two more is left. That is, number one, reporting of non-compliances. Okay, so you got non-compliances. How will you report? If you want to report to TCWG, what you do? If the matter involving non-compliance is intentional and material. Oh my God. If the matter you are reporting to TCWG. So here, if the matter involving to non-compliance is intentional and material, then what you do? If TCWG is involved, communicate to next authority. What you do? Reporting to TCWG if the matter involving non-compliance is intentional and material, then you report to TCWG, right? But if TCWG is himself involved, what you do? You communicate to higher authority. And if audit committee, and that is your audit committee or supervisory board, if authority exists. And if no such authority exists, what do you do? Obtain legal advice. Okay, obtain legal advice. So simple, no? If you report to TCWG if the matter involving non-compliance is intentional or material, and then if TCWG is involved, then communicate to next higher authority, that is your audit committee, supervisory board, and if such no authority exists, obtain legal advice. Damn simple. What are we studying? We are studying about reporting of non-compliance. Okay, first of all, we report to TCWG if the non-compliance is immaterial, or if the non-compliance is material or intentional. Okay, next we report to the user. This is very important. Report to the user of the auditor report of the financial statement. Reporting to the user of the auditor's report of the financial statement. Okay, so if the auditor concludes that a non-compliance has a material effect on the financial statement, what did we conclude? That a non-compliance has material effect on the financial statement, and the auditor should express qualified or adverse opinion. Okay, if it is not pervasive, qualified is pervasive, adverse opinion, you know this. So if the auditor concludes that a non-compliance has a material effect on the financial statement, if the auditor concludes that a non-compliance has a material effect on the financial statement, auditor expresses qualified or adverse opinion. But if auditor is unable to conclude the above thing and unable to obtain evidence due to limitation imposed by management, you know this, the auditor shall express qualified opinion or he shall express disclaimer when there is a limitation. So when he is unable, limitation imposed by management, okay, he is not able to obtain the evidence. So in this case, auditor shall express qualified opinion or express disclaimer. If in the exceptional circumstances, auditor shall may consider whether, unless prohibited by law or regulation, withdraw from such engagement. He just have to check in the exceptional circumstances whether withdrawal is permitted or not. This was your reporting in the audit report. And lastly, reporting to the regulator. Okay, determine if there is any responsibility or auditor to report non-compliance to the regulatory authority, like such as RBI, SEBI, IRDA. Okay, he just have to check whether there is a reporting requirement regarding non-compliance to regulatory authority also. So here auditor is going to report to TCWG in audit report and regulatory if it is required, regulators. Okay, and the last question, 250. Okay, indicator of non-compliance. So the what are the indicator of non-compliance? What is going to indicate you that there is a non-compliance going on? Simple. Answer is very simple. 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 S stand for you are purchasing at a price significantly above or below the market price. You are purchasing at a price significantly above or below the market price. S, significantly above or below the market price. Okay. SI. Simple. SI. I is investigation made by government department. Investigation has been made by government department. Oh my God, there is something fishy going on. There is something non-compliance going on. Okay. So you have purchased something purchased at a price significantly above the market or below the market price. Okay. There is something fishy going on. There is something non-compliance going on. SI is investigation made by the government department. Okay, investigation has been made by government department. There has been some non-compliance. SIM M is adverse media comment. There is adverse media comment. Adverse media comment. Media. They are talking adverse about in the media about them. So adverse media comment. And then SIMP, P is payment to related party, loan to consultant. Oh my God, payment to related party, loan to consultant. SIMP. L is lax. Lax is weak accounting system. This accounting system is weak. Accounting system is weak. L. Okay. And E is extraordinary and unauthorized transaction. Extraordinary and unauthorized transaction. Okay, so what did we understand? Indicator of non-compliance. Simple. Indicator of non-compliance. Simple. S is significantly, they are purchasing a price significantly above or below market price. I is investigation made by government department. M is adverse media comment. P is payment to related party, loan to consultant. L is lax, weak accounting system. E is extraordinary or unauthorized transaction. So damn simple standard. What did we understand? What is the name of the standard? 250, consideration of law and regulation in an audit of finance system. We just saw that what are non-compliances. What do you understand by non-compliance? Act of omission commissioned by entity, whether intentional or unintentional, which are contrary to prevailing law and regulation. Effect, direct effect, indirect effect on the financial statement. And then non-compliances, what happened? Fine, litigation, other consequences. Objective, very three simple objective. Obtain evidence. You have to obtain evidence with respect to compliance with law and regulation having direct effect. And in case you have to perform a specified audit procedure to help identify instances of non-compliances which do not have direct effect on financial statement but have material effect on the financial statement, and you need to respond appropriately to the non-compliances or suspected non-compliances. Okay, and then you understood about the responsibility of the auditor. What is the responsibility of the auditor? So S is professional skepticism. A is specified audit procedure. W is written representation, and U is understanding legal and regulatory framework, and S is sufficient appropriate audit. Then we understood about audit procedure when compliances is identified or suspected. When compliance is identified, compliances, suspected compliances. In documentation, two things you just document. Report to 3 people, reporting to TCWG when the non-compliance is intentional or material, and you report also to in audit report, and then you report to regulator also if required. And this thing, indicator of non-compliance is very simple. Indicator of non-compliance simple. S is purchasing at a price significantly above. I is investigation made by government department. M is adverse media comment. P is payment to related party, loan to consultant. L is lax, weak accounting system, and E is extraordinary and unauthorized transaction. Alright guys, signing off. See you, Ravi Agrawal. See you in next essay.